Hi, we're Team Datalab. We used Anthropic APIs to develop a tool calling agent to interact with our materials chemistry data management platform called Datalab. I'm going to move this window. There we go. You can look at these links if you're interested in some more detailed information, but essentially this agent is going to interact with our public test deployment of Datalab, and it's going to use our Python API package it's going to generate code that uses our Python API package. We package this up in Streamlets, which I'm now going to launch. And we use this a package called Code Interpreter API, which is going to run the generated code actually locally in an isolated Python environment. So once this is loaded, you'll see we have this kind of chat interface. And straight away I can ask it to do things like list IDs in Datalab. And it knows that there's a public deployment, it knows what our schema is, it knows how to use this Python API. Apparently the first time it just failed, so the second time it worked. So the point with these models is they have to try quite a few times sometimes to generate the right kind of Python code, which is an issue when you're letting it create and delete items, but that's a problem for another day. In this case, you'll see it's listed these different IDs. We can then ask it to get some more information about them, get more info about my test sample. Doesn't matter if I made a typo there, it's going to figure it out, you would hope. It has. So now you see it's returned some more JSON and has been able to summarize it in the LLM itself. We can also add images because we're using Anthropic's fantastic LLMs, which have multimodal capabilities. So even Haiku lets us do things like transcribe my lab notebook as a Datalab entry and add it to Datalab. That was a long way of saying what I wanted to do. But this means that the image will first look at the model will first look at the image. It will try and figure out what's in it. This is just a handwritten lab notebook page. It's then going to generate some code that adds this to our Datalab deployment. And you'll see if I now refresh on this public deployment, it made an authenticated request as myself, and it started connecting all the dots and reading this notebook page. So we think this could be a really cool way for our users to actually interact with not just their own data, but also doing things like analysis and generating code, especially